What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, and this episode is going to be a very important episode, and it's going to be difficult for me to explain it, so I'm going to try to go slow and carefully. I have kind of like a bullet points, and it's like a long one, but bear with me. I'm going to try to make it all make sense. If you've been a long time subscriber, thank you so much. And if my channel ever disappears, just resubscribe. I'm going to remake it because I'm not going to give up. But just search my channel again, VecD. My name is Vekran, and if my channel does get deleted, I will probably re-upload all the more important ones. I have a theory that my channel will probably be removed at 999 subscribers, because I've been doing YouTube for 14 years, and essentially I never did it for the money. I just did it just to get my thoughts out. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if I could have made a little bit of money on this, it would be nice, but even if I make no money, I would still do it forever, because I just have I just really want to get these messages out there. People choose to see the truth or they don't. People will be blocked by their pride, or they'll see it. And pride, fear, doubt held me back in my life. But strength comes not from ourselves, but from the Creator, from God, through Jesus Christ. And I think the whole world has always taught us that we can do it on our own if we just believe in ourselves. But we have to have faith in God that He can give us the strength to do it, and that we're working together with what He planned for us. Because everyone can say, "Oh, we make purpose in life, and we can make our own plans in life and purpose," but God has a better purpose. I'm going to try to do my best to put God at the center of my life and put Him in the beginning of anything I do. You know what I mean? Asking Him for help for whatever I need, because that's what He likes. The situation that happened, it was actually something at work. The place I worked for, I just actually left a few days ago. I'll never go back there, because they're actually connected to the cult. And it actually put me really close to God, way more closer to God. Like life is pretty much a humbling experience. Whenever you think you're up here, you're actually down here. So I recommend go out and lose everything. Go and do everything. Have faith in God, and actually go and pursue your dreams, and have faith that He will be there. Because a lot of people, they don't chase after what they want because they have fear, because they have doubt. They don't think God will be there to help you, but God, He's helped me in all this like emergency times in my life, so I know He'll get me through this. So I have to reframe my mind and not panic, and not stress out, and not be anxious. But I've learned also that whatever happens in life, whatever happens for a reason. I believe that all of us are special, and that like everything I've gone through in life, it's been in the midst of it, I wouldn't know why I'm going through it, but now I see that I've been pushed through these situations so I could actually be able to see things that I could actually relay to other Christians and God believers. And I believe that, there's no point to be bitter and think, oh, why, and have regrets about what you did or didn't do in life, because you wouldn't be the person you are today if you didn't go through them. I think life has a bunch of blockers, like cock blockers, people who will help you, people who understand what you're talking about, and people who never will. I do believe that humanity is waking up, but they're going to be deceived. They're straight up going to be deceived. And like, I'm nothing, but I still believe that all of us are special in our own unique way. And I'm nothing, but I still have a small piece of this like mission. And I feel like I have a personal mission. I asked for it. I asked to be used. And we're all special, and we all can have a work for God. Like, we can all do something for God and work for Him, but we have to ask, and we have to do it. Again, like, a lot of people are waking up, and I think there's only two answers. If people are questioning about reality, there's only two answers. There is no God. There is always going to be, there's too much evidence that proves that there's more to reality than what we can see, and there is some kind of creation. But people will either believe that it's in a pantheistic type of, like, the universe is God and everything in it is God and we are all God, and the universe created itself, or that God created everything, and he created everything in us, and that we are separate from God. Now the elites, regardless of what all these, because there's a lot of Satanists, they're just like, oh, it's just a symbol, like we don't believe in any God, it's just, we believe that everything is God and we are God, and that it's just a symbol for freedom, and that the elites use religion to control the masses. But how come everything that they believe, the elites teach? And again, humanity is waking up, but they're going to be deceived by the love movement, because the love movement or the New Age movement is not something that's new. It's something that has existed for thousands of years, and it's essentially the same thing that the elites that control this world, this philosophy that they teach in small. They plant seeds in all media, all video games, all movies, all literature, and all school curriculum, and they teach the youth, and especially the masses, and especially the youth, the same philosophy. And a lot of people are getting led astray, and they claim that they use science to prove and everything, but science is a good tool. And again, I'm not saying science is like I'm against science. I'm just saying the elites use science to mislead everyone, and science is good for observations, measuring, and testing, but it's only good for the physical. And there's a lot of things in this reality that are just spiritual and non-physical, and we'll never be able to use anything to test it or measure. And if you're too good for this world, the world will try to destroy you, because this world is corrupt and satanic, and anything that is of God or believes in God or believes in the truth will be hidden, buried, or destroyed, and life will kick you to the ground, and you have to just get up time and time again, praying to God for strength. But if you've ever noticed that all the Christian highest faith countries, highest faith nations in the world are the poorest. They're suffering, and they're the poorest, because Satan will lift up all his followers, all the people who bend over and sell out their ass for fame and fortune. All of them will be lifted up and given a good position, but they'll live a half life and a cursed life, and they'll be like tortured, and it won't be worth the trade-off. And then a lot of these Satanists that like Hollywood people, they have to do sacrifices to get in high positions. And anyone in TV, anyone in the movie and music industry and professional sports, they have to sell out, and they have to continue to do sacrifices to have an extended life. But all can be used for his plan, God's plan. And again, the world is ruled by signs and symbols. And this is what tipped me off, because I studied this stuff. A lot of people don't study signs and don't study symbols, but the world is run and controlled by symbols. And that's how these Satanists, they communicate to one another through the symbols in their corporations, or through their hand signs, or through the stuff in their logos, or on their shirts, or in their businesses. But I just want to say, guys, here's some advice. Don't open up to just anyone. Learn first about them, and you can subtly influence them. But I said this before, if you drink from every cup, you'll be poisoned. If you open yourself up to every woman, or if you open yourself up to every friend, eventually you're going to be opening yourself up and making yourself vulnerable to an enemy, or to someone who's poison, toxic. And God used this situation to scare me closer to him. Straight up, when you want to be strong, people act strong when they're weak. And it's something that I struggled with too. Like, I felt in my life, I always felt weak, and I wanted to be stronger. And I did get stronger, but it's always like when you ask God for strength, he puts you in difficult situations to make you stronger. When you ask God for patience, he puts you in situations to make you more patient. When you ask God to be fearless, he'll put you in situations to make you less scared. Like the green movement, or people who are animal rights activists. They're always going to, and even feminists, they're always going to be hating Christians, and their ultimate goal is, if we want to have a perfect world, we have to kill the Christians and kill the people who are the archaic, people who believe in the archaic, old, Abrahamic religions, because God, he had these set rules, and God makes rules not to control us, but to actually protect us, but they can't see it like that. Because God, he put animals on earth, and he did make plants for us to eat, and fruits and vegetables for us to eat in the beginning, but then man chose to make everything fallen and sinful through their free choice and choosing to sin. And it's kind of interesting. It's like a parent, right? The parent tells you, hey, don't do this, and they don't tell you exactly all the time why. They just say don't do it, They don't need to explain to you. You have to just trust them, right? Because God wants us to trust him through faith. I'm not like one of my like family members who just had blind faith, which I admire, because I had to actually look into it, into the science behind it. And through all my years investigating, I proved that without a doubt, without a shadow of doubt, that there is a God, and the God of the Bible is the real deal. But he wants us to trust him, and he probably would prefer blind trust and blind faith, because he admires that more than, being how should we, doubting, right? But the end goal of all the green movement, the animal rights activists and the feminists, is to destroy Christians, to be honest, because they hate Christians and they think that they can make a perfect world with man's rule, but they don't realize that they need God. Magic is evil, because magic is just about deceiving. It's about a deception. It's about distracting. And yeah, that's pretty much the basic issue with why magic is bad. And it makes people think that people have power, right? Magical powers, right? When God is the only one who has any type of power. But yeah, like there's this, I always talk about it, but there's this essentially a cult that runs the world. And if you want to be anyone, you have to go through these secret societies. And there are thousands of these. I don't know about thousands, but there are like a whole bunch of these secret societies, and they're all interconnected because they all teach more or less the same philosophies. Whether they believe that the universe is God and they're God, and it's like a never-ending cycle, like that man is eternal and that God is just a source, an energy source, and that we can use our divine power to tap into it and get what we want here on earth. That's what they believe. And I believe that, at least at the top, they know that God is real and that the Bible is real, because believe it or not, a lot of these Satanists, they actually study the Bible more than us, because they know it's real, but they think that God isn't the real God, that he's just like Oprah Winfrey says, that he's a jealous, evil, controlling God, and that there are other gods beyond him, and he's deceived, he's blinded, he's like, he can't see the full picture, and that there are other gods beyond him, and that he was created by another god. But that's not true. And this main video is actually going to be about rave community. I've learned a lot about Mike's in the last 5 months working at this place, and it's pretty much like it was like a new age kind of cafe. Not that I was ever going to be like persuaded, but a lot of people who worked there, they were very like super liberal, open-minded, and I'm more of a conservative type thinking person, and they were also kind and very nice. But I knew from working there for a few months and talking with them that all of them were pretty much atheists. I would say atheists. After doing some research on Instagram and stuff, seeing who these people are connected to and seeing what they believe in, they pretty much think that Christianity is just stupid and ridiculous and just a form of control. The people who run the world, they essentially are connected to human trafficking and child sacrifice, and essentially they orchestrate. The governments are all corrupted and controlled by these elite rich billionaire families, and these billionaires have literally infinite money, so they can use all their money to control all the media and all the schools, all the education, all the groups, and literally every avenue is designed to teach their beliefs. But these people, like, it's always these rich elite people that you find out that, especially the celebrities, that they lost a child during birth, or that someone in their life passed away before they became famous. And I have a theory on serial killers. I think that all the serial killers who become famous essentially are children that are their parents are part of these groups, and these people are so sick and backwards because they don't believe this, but they are actually essentially children of Satan, because they are raised in the way he wants, and they are raised in a way of abuse and torture and sexually abused. They're sexually taken advantage of. Their parents take their kids, pass them around to their friends, or even give them away to be sacrificed or at a satanic ritual. And like even these celebrities, some of these celebrities, you'll say, oh, this daughter of this person, famous person, but essentially it's just like in the movie Sherlock Holmes. If you've ever seen the movie Sherlock Holmes, they even pretty much state what happens. Like these occultists will meet up in a ritual, and a member of the male and female who will be like a witch and a warlock, they'll do a ritual, they'll pretty much have sex, and then they'll get the woman pregnant, and then she'll give birth, but then that daughter, it does not belong to her, it belongs to the cult. And they'll do what they want with it, but usually what they do is they try to find a talent within the child, and after abuse and mind controlling the child and grooming her or him and teaching them their philosophies and also training them, they'll say, hey, this person's really good in music, this person's really good in whatever, right? And then they'll use that person, that child to be an influencer. And then that's why you see like a lot of these children, they're not close to their parents because they never knew them. They were raised by the occult. It's like they always use these TV shows like the famous show Unsolved Mysteries, where the guy was talking about this person, we never found out what happened to this kid. It's because this TV show is trying to hide the truth about what happened, because these TV shows and this whole justice system and the police, they'll essentially use these shows to, they don't want us to find out, the normal common folk, the plebs, the sheep, to find out that, we don't want us to find out what's happening to them or what they're doing really, because it would scare us. So they have to slowly indoctrinate the masses and make us used to their lifestyle, which they're doing. This is why magic is popularized and why occult ritual stuff is all being normalized. And they'll say, witches, they just use crystals, they burn incense and they have herbs and they do a little bit they use a little bit natural drugs and they do offerings to the moon, but they're not really evil, satanic, human sacrificing. But no, human sacrifice does have everything to do with what these high-level Satanists do, and essentially they use these media to hide it. But it's just like when we heard this story, when I was a kid, they taught us in school about how when North American settlers came to people settled from Europe, and they settled into North America and they settled from Europe. And they were going through a paranoia, and they would say, these people, these crazy Christians, they were burning people at the stake because in Salem they were scared of the new land and they were getting paranoid and they were just killing innocent people. No, the truth is these Christians found out what these occultists were doing with children. And even like people like Benjamin Franklin, they found hundreds of baby skeletons in his basement. I was watching on YouTube Abandoned Mansions, and there was this one like $8 million home, and they said, the person who was doing the filming, this family was like a wealthy family. They were like some kind of stockbrokers, and they bought this home, and then their daughter tragically went missing, so they had to sell everything and fuck off, right? But really, either they did it to their own kid, or they moved just to make it seem like they didn't, or they sold it to someone, or one of their sicko friends did it. Stole the child. I want to say don't do any psychedelic drugs, because psychedelics, I've learned in the last month that it's actually sorcery. In the Bible, that's sorcery. And the shamans of old, they would use psychedelics like mushrooms or dimethyltryptamine, DMT. They would use psychedelics to pretty much, the shaman would get high and commune with demons and talk with demons. And then, but nowadays, you could hire a shaman to guide you through these trips. You yourself will take the actual psychedelic. But the occult, they're more common than we believe. And I always wondered when I would meet a Freemason in person, or when I would meet these occultists. But I was working all around them and I didn't know. I had no idea, because they knew I was a Christian, but so they hid it. And all of them were trying, it's like a lot of them were trying to like teach me stuff, or like trying to convince me that the Bible's wrong and Jesus was not God. And I was like, why is my manager trying so hard to convince me that he had such a vendetta against Jesus? Like, why? I didn't hear him talking. I guess he wouldn't talk about Buddhism, because Buddhism ties all into this. Buddhism is the same thing. It's like when Alexander the Great, he conquered the known world at the time. It's like, I think it was like Asia and like India and all that stuff. They merged their beliefs with the Middle East. And that's how we got Mystery Babylon, and we got Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah and the Zohar and the Talmud, these evil books that actually talk about pedophilic rituals, pedophilia. And the occult, they practice this because they believe that we are all inner children and that we all, love is good, and why not share love with everyone? Essentially, I realized that I used to watch A Call for an Uprising. God bless him. I think he came back time and time again after YouTube took down his channel, and he had like 300,000 subs, 200,000 subs on multiple channels. And I learned a lot from him. And he was teaching that, he was pretty much exposing all the Hollywood people, and it was so easy for him because he knew exactly how they worked, and he would just point out all the symbols, and symbols that you could see in the occult would be pyramids, all-seeing eyes, black and white, maybe sun and moon stuff, pentagrams, and a star. Like, a star is not a star in the sky, it's a pentagram. It doesn't have to be in a binding circle. It doesn't have to be upside down, inverted. Or lightning, the lightning symbol, or light, anything to do with light. But the symbol I'm going to talk about is the spiral. Well, the spiral, if you see any business or any establishment with a spiral, or with a line that draws a triangle and then slowly turns into a small triangle within it, or a line that makes a heart and then slowly turns into a heart within it, those are pedophile symbols. And you can be damn sure that the business has is a safe haven or harboring pedophiles, or it's connecting people who are pedophiles. If you guys have ever heard about who's ever heard of Pizzagate? Someone hacked Hillary Clinton's laptop or computer, and they pulled out all these thousands of emails, and they pretty much found out that the government and all these famous notable people and government officials are all dabbling in the occult, and they're all meeting up they were all connected to Epstein. And Epstein, I don't think he was killed. His camera was mysteriously turned off when he quote unquote killed himself at the maximum security prison. Essentially, they just got him the hell out of there. He's probably living it up somewhere, who knows where. Maybe in Israel, actually. Someone said that. What happened was that they found out that these people, they use code words. Like, they talk about, like, hey, could you send us some cheese? We're going to meet up for have some cheese pizza. Like, cheese would be, like, little boy. Pepperoni would be little girl. I don't know exactly
I don't know what all this is.
Official things. I'm just saying the basic idea is that. The New Age is not new. It's essentially thousands of years old teachings. Yeah, I think I said that. The New Age is not new. It's essentially thousands of year old teachings. I think these old gurus, thousands of years ago, they ate psychedelic stuff like mushrooms, and it essentially gives you information, and it's essentially breaking down the spiritual realm. And these demons, and whoever knows what else, they essentially are teaching you lies. And it's something interesting that even people who study about psychedelics, they said that's strange that all the people around the world, it's not like something in your brain. It's not something that, or else every culture would have a different opinion on it. Mushrooms teach you that oneness, that we are all God, we are all connected, and that we are infinite, and everything's infinite cycles of death and rebirth. That's what psychedelics teach. Yeah, so the occultists are more common than we believe. They fool us so well and act like kind, loving people that love everyone. But really, they want to destroy Christians, and they truly do believe in their false philosophy. They truly believe it from their deepest heart. And another thing, like, about history, I want to talk about something very quickly here, just a quick snippet, like a quick side note. But you ever hear about the Renaissance in Europe? Like, what was it really about? When I was a kid, they taught us about, beautiful artwork and painting was made. But actually, I learned recently, it wasn't all about paintings. It was about humanism. Because the old time, I guess it was a monarchy, and then they were teaching about, everyone knew about, they were teaching about God and the Catholic. Maybe the Christians were going a little too far about, like, executing people, because I think that's up to God. They shouldn't be using the religion to control people. I do admit, right? Religion has been used by some people to control or maintain power, but the Renaissance was not about paintings. It was about pushing humanism, which is the same that man is God, and accepting everything, accepting all. The government, they use the FBI, the CIA. I mean, they use the CIA to mentally attack their own people and create psyops and such. But the FBI is used to traffic children. And there was a guy named John Walsh. He was on TV. On the TV show FBI Most Wanted. And I used to love watching that with my mother. I think he said he started doing that because his son disappeared. But actually, now thinking about it, knowing that what I know now and seeing that anyone's on TV is a sellout puppet, part of these occult groups, I think he could have been just involved in that. He could have probably just sold his daughter or his son. And I remember John Bonet. John Bonet was a famous girl. She was like a blonde, pretty girl, and she disappeared from her family's, like, estate, and they never found out who did it. But it's like, come on, with today's technology, and you guys can't figure out, still it's a cold case. Like, I think they're just protecting the family. The family probably did it, knows something about it, or some elite person who's a friend of the family did something. I think they just did a ritual. But I was searching John Bonet, the photos online, and I could see a couple things. I noticed that she was actually a beauty pageant. And it's so sad when little girls are put in, like, this type of sexual situation to, like, dress, like, sexual, and it's just disgusting, to be honest. It's just catering to the pedophiles. Let's just be honest. The pedophiles that run our world. People have suspected that pedophiles run our world, and it is pedophiles, but it's worse than that. It's satanic. Anyway, so you can see her posing in these beauty pageants. She looked kind of fucked up, but a little girl. But then I realized this looks like a little boy, because they've been doing transgendering for ages. And in the occult, the highest level child you can sacrifice is a little boy. And I noticed that they have she was wearing he or she was wearing a black and white checkered, which is part of their philosophy. They believe in black and white duality. that this universe is dualistic in nature, which is not, and they believe that there's a God of above, a God below, that they want to blend all dualities like male, female, they want to blend moralities, they want to blend the temperature of the world, and blend everything and dissolve this realm, because they believe they can destroy this realm, this enclosed system, and leave it and become gods through technology. But it's all false. And essentially the black and white, it also is something to do with Buddhism, like karma, yin and yang. You can't be your full self without knowing your dark side. And I'm going to continue. This is a separate session filming because it's been hard for me this last month. I've been like emotionally and mentally, spiritually down due to like a spiritual attack that happened regarding right before I left my work. But so I might sound a little different right now, but I'm just going to give a warning that my channel, it could be deleted soon. I'm not saying it might be it will be deleted, but there's a possibility it could be deleted. So if it's deleted, I urge you to research me again. I'll be under Vecrin or VecD again, and I'll remake the channel, and I'll put up probably more of my important videos, probably not so much the video game stuff, but yeah, other than that. And I have a suspicion I might be removed at 999 subs, because I've been on YouTube for 14 years. I think God, he will withhold blessings that these are blessings for you from God, right? But he will withhold it. And you feel like no matter what you do in your life, if you do it on your own, you feel like it's like you left, right, every door you turn to, every door shuts. It's because God, he's shutting doors because you need to learn something in the situation you're going through, but you're not learning it. So whether it be you're too prideful, you're too impatient, or you have anger issues, or you're too proud, or maybe you're too lazy, or you're too something, right? God will show you and reveal to you, but you have to be always seeking God, right? And it's something I'm trying to do more in my life too, is put God in the center. Every morning you wake up, you thank God. Every time you're gonna do something, you ask God, can you help me with making my video? Or I'm gonna go do some exercises, can you help me train? Or like, I'm gonna find a new job, is it a good idea? Like, always seek guidance, right? And ask, because if we rely on ourselves, it's like we can only go so far. And I find that's so true. The greatest trick the devil ever played on all humanity was to trick them to believe that he doesn't exist. That way he could do so many things behind the scenes, and everyone's lower their guard. And I think right now Satan is desperate. He's in desperation mode because I've noticed there's a massive flood of information, of fake information online. And it's like flooding the internet, and the youth are going to get confused because literally there's so much propaganda out there. I think like literally every single thing is designed to push some woke agenda. And when I say woke, when you look online, that definition of woke, it means like socially aware. But in my opinion, woke is like it's like you're socially aware, but these aware themes are actually just themes pushed out by the elites, little themes here and there, right? And that make the public follow it. So I made a huge list here, but this is essentially what all media, movies, music, video games, television, reading material, so that'd be like ebooks, like literature, news, influencers, all of them are going to promote these things. So these are the woke themes. I think I'm just going to go from the top. The obvious one is the LGBTQ, etc., or transgender movement. They're going to promote drug use or drinking, drug use, and I'm talking about society, right? Drug use is going to be, actually any drug use, yeah. Promote drinking, promote sex, or over-sexualize, and putting that in front of the youth. Feminism, the green movement, the mystery religions, celebrities, social media, animal rights, activism, BLM. Oh, BICOP. I've noticed, I was searching for some new jobs here and online, and I started noticing that a lot of some jobs are putting LGBTQ friendly and BICOP. And I researched what does BICOP mean? And it's like, oh, it's black, indigenous, and colored peoples. It's like, okay, so that means that if I see this on a job, I'm definitely not even getting the fucking job because I'm a fucking strong, masculine, heterosexual, white male. So that means it's like, it's kind of like this narrative about the race war and the transgender and LGBTQ is just really pissing me off. I'm gonna get to the root of this, but it's like all these years they've been bitching and complaining about equal rights, but now the tables have turned and they don't want, now that they have equal rights, they don't want that. They're not happy with that. They want to have the other side submit to them and be beneath them. And I guess go what they went through, but an eye for an eye will make everyone blind, right? The feminine movement and the green movement and animal rights, all these three movements, and even LGBTQ, they want to destroy the old Judeo Abrahamic Christian and religions, or Abrahamic religions. They don't want to like live equally with us. They don't want to coexist. They want to actually eliminate and exterminate the Christians. And they're not doing it with a gun. They're actually just doing it through conversion of the youth, brainwashing of the youth. But in the end, eventually, will come to. They won't get rid of Christianity that way. Eventually, they're going to have to come to persecution, hardcore, straight up killing. But that's what the Bible predicts in the future, right? I don't know when that will happen, but okay. Continuing the list through wokeness, climate change, lie, hoax, trash, just to steal money from the public. Trashing religion, mocking Christianity, lies about history, and lies about reality. Transhumanism, so that's merging man with machine. Promoting figures, so when I say promoting figures, I mean like political figures, entrepreneurs, whoever is very, or professional athletes, or like celebrities, or politicians, whoever is promoted in society, or even activists, like whoever is promoted in society, and you see them on the mainstream news talking a lot, that person is like with the system. But if you're against the system, then you'll never even have time to even discuss your point on TV, right? Cult ritual shit, witchcraft, magic, and occult symbolism, rock music, mainstream music, science. I was gonna say Scientology, but it's like making science like the lies, like they use science to push fake lies about reality. That's the stuff I'm talking about. And they make truth look like BS, and they use science to be showing that stuff. That's what I mean, because I'm not against science. Outer space and fake space. So I don't believe in outer space, and that's a whole topic for another episode. I'll probably make a long video about that, but whenever they promote fake space and other aliens and other life, and that we're not the center of the universe, then they're lying, because they're pushing a fake narrative there. Violence, demonic imagery, left right paradigm politics bullshit. So they keep having each other point fingers at each other when it's really the people at the top controlling both sides, right? The sex wars, anything to do with man versus woman or woman versus man, the race wars, or the class wars. Also, I think I said the aliens, promoting the occult type stuff, or sorry, astrology. I think is astrology, necromancy, alchemy, material wealth, like promoting chasing after money, humanism, and I cannot believe I almost missed this one, the evolution lie theory. Of course, one of the biggest ones, that man can evolve to a higher level being. These are all the things that they teach, that they'll promote. And my main issue, like with the rave community, was that it's like a psyop that the devil is using the rave community to push homosexuality. That's the actual real agenda behind the rave community. And from my personal experience, I've learned that the psychedelic community, the nightclubs, certain nightclubs and rave clubs, like some of the rave clubs will be like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And also the DJs and the music industry, they're all working together with the LGBTQ community, and it's like some kind of they all are working together. And at my work, I had to leave because I felt like I was very open and genuine, but I felt like they were hiding a lot. And I met a person through like a customer, through a friend, and he was like a brother to me, and I felt like he was like the friend that I always needed in my life, right? And then he goes, and he was very good at hiding it, but eventually after we partied a bit, and after going through these regular rave places, like I felt like I could see, since I have this eye to see, I could see that the people working at the clubs were working with other like homosexuals, and they weren't just like regular homosexuals like that are off like just going to go party. They were working with the club, and they were looking to target straight heterosexual men and get them either drugged up or if they're vulnerable, drugged up already, they would be taken advantage of. And I was targeted multiple times, and then the friend I was with, he goes and backstabs me and tries to drug me. And apparently I learned that he was probably one of these really liberal type people who believe in who study the Kabbalah and I don't know what else. They're very open-minded and love all, but it was very disturbing, disgusting type of love, because it was like I made it very straight that I'm straight, right? 'Cause sometimes you never know, right? You just want to make that sure, because if you don't have this friend from a long time, you don't know, right? But he was a liar, and there was actually, now that I think about it, a lot of red flags. But then at my work also, I don't know how to explain it, but oh yeah, angels literally got me the hell out of that place, like out of the apartment that I was in. And I mean, I could have easily fought the person, but I was drugged up and vulnerable, and also I felt like I didn't have hard evidence, so I could have easily started beating on someone, and eventually they'd be like, hey, this guy just went crazy because he was drugged up. I didn't know at the time, because I was like, is it the drugs, or is this person really drugged me? Because I could tell the what I had left in that drink after I went to the washroom had something in it. But the point is that I did confront him after, but he played it like nonchalant, like he didn't know what I was talking about. And then I got the fuck out of there. And then after thinking about it, I'm like, no, definitely. The next day, I put the pieces together. Then I started doing Instagram, researching my work, and I found out my work is connected to pedophiles. I don't know how deep it is, but pedophilia, they're supporters of it. And then it kind of disturbed me, and I felt like it's hard to explain, but like a spiritual attack, and I felt sick to my stomach. Like all this negative energy from not all, but a lot of the staff from where I worked. And because they were pretty new agey, and I was the only Christian there, and I was very open and told them what I was about. And I was very accepting. I don't really mind, like, I'm not judging what they are doing, because I learned maybe back in the day when I was a young Christian, I would be over judgmental, but that's not what God, that's about. You have to judge yourself, not you don't judge the world. You scrutinize oneself. Anyway, so then, I had to just get the fuck out of there, because I just felt like sketchy, suspicious, bad energy, and even some other personal issues beyond that. But then I felt really sick, and I felt a spiritual attack, and all this stuff happened at once, and I think something else happened too. Yeah, just a lot of things at one time. And then I just felt like I can't do this, and I had to like just ghost. But from what I learned is that straight up the psychedelics, it's just that Satan, he's like a expert in music. So he uses music and entertainment to teach and kind of brainwash the public. And then psychedelics kind of blends all the senses, and it blends the senses like touch, sight, everything into one. And then essentially during those times you could be very vulnerable, and someone could grab you and just start like, you know, doing something to you, and you could probably just do whatever to them because you'd be so messed up, right? But that's the point. Psychedelics, again, like I said, it breaks down the barrier between the physical world and the spiritual realm, and there's always this same common theme, whether it be LSD, whether it be mushrooms, ketamine, MDMA, peyote, all these things, they have a common theme, and they teach oneness, that we are one, we are God, and we are a never-ending cycle. It's like, that's what it teaches us. And it's very scary, because I think someone said it's like a very scary realization when we're living, I think if I said this already, sorry, I apologize, but we're living in a society that really loves individuality, when you realize that you're actually all one. But then these people who believe this, they're part of like a weird hive mind, because then it's like you join them, you become them, one. That's what this cult is, this spreading like a fire. And like, you could be talking to one of these weird people and you don't even know. And that they have that spiritual attack was so real. I felt sick. Like, I felt like something pushed, like, you know, these attractions between people, we get pulled towards one another, whether we like them or not. It's like everything's meant to be, and I felt like literally God pulled me out of that place. It was strange, because he didn't want me to be there anymore. But from what I learned, that in this like new age type job, that I just got out of, you know, just desperation, to be honest. I have to look for another job too now. I do teach martial arts part-time, but it's not enough to supplement my income, so I had this other job. But after this stuff, it's like I kind of don't want to go to a rave again. I mean, it was really fun, don't get me wrong, but it's super real. Like, it was very vulnerable, and I felt like literally like the staff are hunting for men. So I recommend, if you do go to a place like that, don't get so messed up. But anyway, the New Age people, they're essentially the Kabbalists, people who are, you know, like I said, if they think that they're teaching the truth, why do the elites believe the same thing they believe? Because they agree with it. They believe that they do have to break the chain, blend everything, and break the chain, because they think this is like a never-ending chain of reincarnation and death and reincarnation. And you really do feel that when you're on psychedelics. But I think, again, I said don't do psychedelics, because psychedelics in the Bible says it's sorcery. My main issue is that the LGBTQ community, not all of them are bad, but some homosexuals are very exaggerated. I like to say exaggerated, flamboyant. They dress very in strong clothing, like obvious clothing types. And the Pride Festival, it's like a big insult in Christianity, because they call it Pride, but really they should be ashamed, because it's not a normal thing. They want to make things something normal, abnormal, normal. And if they are doing this, okay, fine. I don't hate you, but I just think it's something that shouldn't be. Go do it and be yourself somewhere else, over there, but not like in the public's eye, mainstream, jamming it down the public's throat. It's like they don't want to be accepting heterosexuality, like heterosexual people, and I feel like gay men possibly could be attracted to heterosexuals, because isn't that what they're searching for, a masculine male? I feel like a lot of them are just a majority of gays, 90% of them are just confused people, and then they're so confused, and it's like they can't be a straight male, so they want to dominate another straight male, so they want to come after and hunt after a male. And I think I said that in the club, they're not homosexuals that are just dancing there normally. They're like weird ones that are like working with this club, and the club will use tactics such as like posting a watcher at the door, like a female watcher, and she'll be with a security, and she'll point out targets at doorways that are one-way traffic, or they'll put GHB in the Gatorade, or don't order that, or don't leave your drinks out open, because they'll go around cleaning tables, spraying stuff in there, or they'll have people pretend to be dancers and they'll put shit into drinks, but they're targeting straight heterosexual males to get them to, I guess, have some gay experience. I think more like gay experience type stuff to destroy heterosexuality and have the gay experience spread. Sorry, but I know that I'm not gay, and I think sometimes gay people are insulted that I won't want to have sex with them, intercourse with them. It's like, I think they feel like it's, a lot of the people are confused, and I think, a lot of our media, all the movies, media, video games, all this stuff, literature, stuff influences us, information is put out there to influence the youth and media, masses, and the youth are influenced by this. And I already know two men I've seen on YouTube. One of them is a martial artist. He's a ninjutsu teacher, and he said that he used to watch Conan the Barbarian, the television program that occult programming. One character, a female, she was a strong female character. She influenced him to be transgender. And then another man I saw on the TV show called Botched, an episode. I just was seeing one part of the episode, but apparently this person wanted to look like a male to female because of watching the TV show called Bratz. So interesting, these occult television cartoons and programs are the things influencing kids to be confused. I feel like they hate because they're all confused and lost, and they hate heterosexuals because we're a strong foundation. Because I know I'm straight, I know I'm masculine, I know I like women, and I know I believe in God. I know there's a beginning, I know there's an end, I know where I'm going to go after I die. Like, I know there's an afterlife, but they're lost and they don't know nothing, so they just want to enjoy life and just do whatever they want. And they want us to be like them because they feel lost, so they want us to feel lost like them. Because it makes them feel better to validate their lostness. And it's like, it's straight up like, it could be even demonic, because it's like, I heard attacks of lust. It could be a demonic attack. Like you're feeding a demon, and like when you partake in stuff, following through with your lust, whatever what you want to do, then you're feeding that demon. And then I swear, I went to the one club. There was like, they'll even do this tactics like this. They'll have hot chicks walk in and out to kind of lure men in, and then it's really like some kind of trashy, filled with transgenders, LGBTQ, but like not like normal ones, like, or even like prostitutes and stuff like that. Like, so anyway, the work and a lot of people and stuff that I was around, it was connected to like the occult and occultic stuff, new age, and very liberal, and I was suspecting pedophilia because I was looking on Instagram, connecting people, seeing the symbols, and I'll show me a quick little thing here, but it was too many symbols to deny. Like I think even the dragon, something about a purple dragon, or just like a dragon symbol, something has something to do with transgender or LGBTQ. I don't know exactly what, but it's something like a symbol they're communicating to each other in the New Age community. Spirals, eyes, and also Pizzagate too. The LGBTQ community is connected to pedophilia and Pizzagate, because the people who control the world are weird pedophile people. Yeah. And then I was kind of getting, I kind of had to be like distance myself from that place because I couldn't know who to trust, right? I want to talk about also the pussification of games. There's one video out there on YouTube called that, and he talks about like all these games from back in the day were very masculine, but now they're getting very, very like fairy type, very light, very kind of brainwashing the youth. It's like they're designed for kids, homosexuals, and what was the last thing the person said? Children, homosexuals, and I forgot what they said. But the point is that most of the player base is like straight males in their 30s, and I was saying like these gatekeepers, they always say, why? Well, the reason why is probably because the gaming industry, like all entertainment, is a controlled industry, and it's not about, they don't give a damn about how much money they make. It's never been about money. It's always been about what they can brainwash the public with. They literally have infinite money. It's a cult that runs the world. It's a big club. So you got to know someone to get into the music industry. You have to have. It's not about what you can do. It's about, well, maybe it is a little bit, but more about who you know. It's your connections, right? So it's not about. It's about all that. The video games. They're gonna work hard to put, like, from that list of woke stuff, all that stuff I listed. They're trying to put one of those things in the game. So just try to remember that list, because all that stuff is what they're going to put into. You just have to look out for anything in that list, and you can just avoid it. Like, say you're looking and you're seeing something for your kids, and you see one of these things, red flags, you discard it. Or you just tell them what this is bullshit, right? But, like, he's saying, oh, they're going to go, Xbox is going to go bankrupt. No, they're not. They're never going to go bankrupt. They're here forever. X, man. X is the symbol for Satan. That's why, even fucking Elon Musk and that X thing. Oh, did you hear about that? Elon Musk, I think he's working with Trump. All of them are working together. Trump has always acted like, they always act like he's the one who's anti-establishment. But you can't, guys. You can't be running for president without being part of the cult. He's just playing the other side, so everyone follows him on this side. They're all working together. But all politicians, I don't know when they fully was corrupted, but it's pretty much fully corrupted. I think it's like 80% corruption, or it's gotta be 80% now, man. All the politicians, they're all laughing. They're doing a show, talking to each other, just debating, yelling at each other. But really, after the camera goes back, they start laughing at what they're doing, because they know they're getting money for fucking nothing, just sitting on their asses, and playing a show. And then also, it's the same thing. This LGBTQ stuff being pushed in the games, like, it's the pussification of games, and to socially engineer the men. And I've seen so many men in my city, especially like these last 5 years, that more and more men and women are dressing like women are like men and men are like women, and like short hair for women, butch kind of women that hate straight men, and then are like, complete lesbo, or like these fucking guys who are like just pussies who just like dressing in these freaking weird faggot clothing. And I'm just like, I don't care, right? But it's just like, these guys are like spreading like a wildfire, and it's because these freaking people who control the world are using the media. So I think it's like, you have to just turn off all the media and video games, and all the news, just turn it off. I think, that's what I was going to say at the end of the video. World peace could happen. I mean, the devil will always find a way, right? But there would be more peace in the world if you just turn off the news. But anyway, these people, they don't care about, they have infinite money. They want to put, I was talking about Elon Musk. So I already said that. Elon Musk, he's working with Donald Trump now. Something about, I had a theory that Elon Musk is the Antichrist, and that he's going to be the new leader of the world. I have a feeling. That's what I think. From everything he's been set up, it seems like he's been set up to be like the hero. That he's like going to save humanity. But he's a scumbag, billionaire, probably more, and he's just like controlling, he's going to use his technology to push the mark of the beast, that's for sure. But his company's called, isn't Twitter or something called X or something like that, some shit like that? They rechanged it. And Brazil blocked them and he's getting into politics and shit, right? Weird, right? How come all these people, they start getting into politics and stuff? It's like they want more power and control. But anyway, Brazil's super Christian, but super corrupt and poor. The government is super corrupt, and the people are very poor because of the corrupt government. But like I said, the devil always keeps all these, like, Russians are really strong Christians, and they're poor as fuck dude up there. Philippines is really, like, they're God believers. I think they're Catholic mainly, but they believe in God strongly. What other countries? My point is, look into any Christian, strong, God-living country, and they're poor and struggling, because that's how the world works. But Brazil is, they blocked Twitter because probably, I don't know, some sketchy stuff. I heard they banned Yu-Gi-Oh cards, actually. Someone mentioned that on my Yu-Gi-Oh video, which is, someone said that. I thought, oh, that's good. Brazil's actually at least holding them off for a little bit, but it won't last forever. Eventually, this satanic cult, and they all say they're not satanic, but you know, they believe, the New Agers, whatever they want to call it, the Kabbalists, they live, so they would just be called them. Oh yeah, and I want you guys to be careful for AI rampant videos. I've been noticing that now people have been using AI to make completely videos from scratch, and they could be Bible videos, they could be videos about literally anything, but you'll start to notice the pattern. But essentially the voices, it's just like literally someone reading a script. Like they have an AI generate a script, and then they have AI generate the imagery, but it's just literally like they extend. They're talking about nothing, so you literally learn nothing. So just be careful about those videos. And oh yeah, did you hear about Andrew Tate, that scumbag? He got, I learned about it a little while ago. It was like he got released from a court or something in Portugal, and he was staying. I'll show the video clip here, but essentially he's saying that his wife, him and his friend's wife, have been accused of trafficking, and it's exactly what I talk about all the time. All these elites are involved in trafficking, so his wives have been accused of trafficking.
Things about Romania endlessly, and when I did this, people would say to me, if Romania is so nice, if it's so safe, it's so beautiful, why has it got such a bad reputation? And I said, well, there's probably a few bad actors, a few bad people who destroyed the entire reputation, like the few fools at DCOT who just came along and told us that the mothers of our children are somehow human trafficked. I've been nice, I've been patient, I've played the game, I've respected the judiciary, I've gone to every appointment on time, but they bust in my house again. And now I've come along saying there's 35 victims. You know, all 30 of those girls, 30 of them, have statements in our defense.
And then they're like, what, billionaires? And Andrew Tate, he was set up to be this figure who's like talking about truth and stuff and helping men and stuff, because he's I saw him, I think I first saw him as like he was an MMA fighter, but I completely forgot about him because he just looked like a nobody, right? And then he won some fights or something, apparently. I didn't know, I realized. And after I realized, oh shit, this is the same guy he just has a goatee now, right? And he's like apparently self-made billionaire now, but it's all a ruse. He must have been a son of a family member, because to be set up as some kind of political figurehead or some kind of figure, how should we say, influencer, because people who are promoted in society, like I said, they're evil and they're part of this cult. And these people, in the end, they believe they're doing good. They believe what they're doing is for the greater of good, the sacrifice of the few to save the many, to break the never-ending chain, to save humanity from a never-ending cycle. But actually, they're the ones perpetuating all the evil, because that's their part of their beliefs.
The Ouroboros can be seen in different cultures and contexts, but the origins of the symbol is associated with Egypt. The oldest depiction of the Ouroboros was found in Tutankhamun's tomb, portrayed in the enigmatic Book of the Netherworld, a funerary text engraved on the second gilded shrine of Tutankhamun. The image of Ouroboros is depicted twice in the engraving, at the head and again at the feet of a figure that is believed to be Ra Osiris. The Egyptians believed the image of Ouroboros covering Ra Osiris was a symbol for the beginning and end of time. It's also a reflection of the belief in the chaos that envelops the world, and the order and the renewing that comes out of the chaos. The Ouroboros eventually slithered out, pun intended, from Egyptian culture and into the world of the Greeks, where it was given new interpretations. Within Gnosticism, an ancient religious sect that challenged the belief that the benevolent God created the world, the Ouroboros took on a new meaning, where it was seen to represent the infinite cycle of death and rebirth. It was also taken to be a symbol of fertility, as the tail of the Ouroboros was interpreted as a phallus, and the mouth the womb that receives a seed. Yet another Gnostic interpretation of Ouroboros sees it as symbolizing the demarcation points between earth and heaven, while other Gnostics saw it as a representation of the devil, who made this world and bars anyone from escaping it. Gnostics also saw the extreme ends of the Ouroboros as a symbol of the two distinct parts of humans, the spiritual and the earthly. And as the Ouroboros enclosed upon itself, it was taken as an emblem of the union between these two diverse aspects of ourselves. In the Greek school of thought called Hermeticism, the Ouroboros is taken as a reflection of the cyclic nature of death and rebirth, of destruction and creation. The Ouroboros was a great symbol for alchemists' belief in the endless cycle of death and rebirth, a circle that the alchemists sought to be freed from.
A hexagram which is clearly portraying the two opposing demiurge figures and merging together in the center. And you can also see written in Latin at the top right corner macrocosm, and in the bottom left corner microcosm. Also in the top left corner is the Latin phrase meaning the top is like the bottom, or more loosely, as above, so below. So again, we have obvious allusions to the great work here. But something new you see there is the serpent around the outer edge, and it's forming a circle and it's eating its own tail. And that's called the Ouroboros, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But the symbol pictures this similar dualistic synthesis in that the snake lives by eating its own tail. And so in the occult it represents life being sustained by death, the two opposing forces sustaining one another, essentially. But your children know Ouroboros as the circle of life, courtesy of the Lion King. So in the symbol we have both life and death coming together as one whole. So what's symbolized by the placing of an arch upon the pillars is that it goes from just being these two random pillars to creating a doorway or gateway for someone to pass through, which pictures the opening of the portal for the ascension of man, which relates back to what we discussed before, where the two demiurges being synthesized opens the portal for escape from the construct. And so that one World Trade Center is a perfect representation of the two World Trade Center towers being synthesized into a single whole. Also, if that weren't enough, I mean, just think back to what I was saying about the name, the One World Trade Center. This whole ritual behind 9/11 and the tower is bigger than just buildings. It's a symbolic statement. The statement being made here is about the great work on a worldwide scale. Remember, these elite, they think this planet is just a construct, and that all of us are just imprisoned here. And so that's why they want this worldwide amalgamation, not just the combination of two buildings. They don't care about that. This is just a ritual to show their dedication to this great work, because they think if they achieve this, they'll destroy the construct along with the demiurge, and then they'll be set free to ascend. And obviously, given the massive death toll incurred on 9/11, they're willing to do just about anything to achieve that goal. And so the statement they're making there is, look, if we're gonna kill all these people just to put these two buildings together as some stupid symbol, how much more do you think we're willing to do to finish the actual great work? Because part of the great work is not synthesizing two buildings. That's nothing but a ritual. And so that means they're actually hard at work trying to bring about this great work. And so just think about some things that are occurring around you right now on a daily basis. Can you think of any ways that they're working to accomplish this goal in the world today?
Altering our culture from a heteronormative society into one where anything goes, no boundaries, no values, no morals. It's a hedonistic cult.
About the symbol came to you, and the symbol is like a combination of female and male.
Yes.
And of course, he was well known for being rather feminine in both his dress and mannerisms. But what I'm saying is, Prince was a symbol to the elite of the synthesis of male and female, and his death, while tragic, it seems to be all too convenient for them and their schemes, since transgenderism is the in thing now. I mean, ask yourself, is this acceptance, and more than that, celebration of such a deplorable lifestyle as transgenderism even close to normal? Or does it seem forced, maybe guided by some kind of invisible hand? Like, I don't know, maybe the media, movies, celebrities, music, huge corporations, and on and on and on. And the culture has collapsed on so many similar issues that I believe are all a part of this hidden agenda. The whole LGBT movement, for instance, is clearly a PsyOP, which is short for psychological operation. But it's obviously been foisted on the public, and they've been preconditioned by all those sources that I mentioned, like media and movies, to accept it. But really, the goal of the elite with this particular PsyOP, LGBT, is to swap gender roles back and forth over and over until there's fluidity between the two in people's minds, so that there will no longer be any distinction between the two genders. And then the two categories will become obsolete, essentially synthesizing the two together. I mean, you can see this this in the language that the LGBT movement itself uses. They have this term called gender fluid, which refers to a person who doesn't identify with any single fixed gender. So what's beginning to happen now is, because our society is beginning to see gender as a social construct, the gender binary, the dual male and female aspects, are no longer thought to be necessary. And so you have the synthesis of male and female occurring right before your eyes in the LGBT community itself. And I mean, besides the whole transgender aspect of it, this is also, of course, assisted by the bisexual and lesbian and gay sexual preferences, which also find their place in the acronym LGBT, because they also assist in the destruction of gender distinction.
But they want to blend everything, and it's like a gender fluidity, some kind of like, some people have called it the gay mafia in Hollywood, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Jesuit order, the cultists, the oligarchies, the elites, whatever you want to call them, right? But it's like some kind of people who are controlling above the government. And then Andrew Tate and them, is because, you know, it's true. And he can say, I think when he comes out, right, he's saying, you can notice that his friend is nervous. And people in the comments are saying, whoa, he looks nervous, man. But Andrew Tate isn't scared, because he knows that they can just film him and that they can they can edit the video and make it, twist the story any way they want. They're protected. But essentially they're pretty much busted there, and a lot of people probably know that they're doing some kind of trafficking, even though the news will spin it another way. But once you know, right? And I know that these elites are controlling they control the news, and they can say pretty much anything they want. Anything they want. Oh yeah, and just be wary about one other thing here, taking sides. So like, whether it be in UK, in the English people versus Islam, or because of the news that some young Muslim boy killed 3 girls, or like, and then that put everyone into a crazy spiral. Like, I understand I think the immigration thing, maybe it should be controlled a bit, because I think mixing 2 different cultures makes them clash a lot. But especially these people are the ones, the elites are the ones causing conflicts in areas to push people out of areas too. So it's like, what can you really do, right? All you can do is just tell people the truth about God, and that it's the real deal, and there's these powers that control the world. That's all you can do. But there's nothing you can really do to stop their plan. You can slow it down, but even the truth, like, they can hide it for so long, but you can't destroy it. But they'll try to destroy people who know the truth, you know what I mean? But you can't destroy the truth. It's always going to be revealed eventually in the end. And these people like to, they really hate, they like to hide what they're doing, because they know what they're doing in the shadows is wrong, and light reveals shadows. So that's why they do things behind closed doors and at night, to hide what they're doing. But God sees everything. So, like, example, the UK thing and the Muslims, or like Russia and Ukraine, right? Or like Palestine versus Israel. Like, I know maybe one of each of these issues could have their own deeper roots, right? But the point is, the news is making the people fight against each other, and the news is used to control. So if they just turn off the news, right? Stop watching the news. Ignore it. Turn it off. So I wouldn't take sides, because they always want us to fight each other, amongst each other. Boom, 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 boom. When really, we should be pointing our fingers at them. The billionaires, the trillionaires, and the elites, the Vatican, these high-level people in society that are the ones who are really pulling the strings. It literally is a form of confusion, because, example, I'm a gay man. I'm looking for another man. But then the other man that I'm looking for, he has to be gay, because he has to want to be with me. But then that guy I find who's gay, I find another man, he's gay, but then he likes to dress like a woman, which puts off me, because he looks like he's trying to look feminine when I'm looking for a guy. But then he is looking for a guy. So then the more masculine traits someone has, the more that makes them attracted to them. And also, it's a confusion, because some of them are just cross-dressers. Some of them just want to just keep the phallic, keep the genitalia, like keep their genitals, right? Keep the penis, right? And not do the full operation. Some, like, what are they called in Thailand? And the thing is, now they can do it so well. They have surgeries that they can do it. They do the surgeries so well that, I mean, the elites have had this, always higher advanced than us, like 50 years. So they could have always, I think there's been suspicions about massive transgenderism in the celebrity community. And like example, some people suspect that Justin Bieber is a woman and that Miley Cyrus is a dude, and that you guys can research about how the anatomy of a female and male, and how women have Adam's, men have Adam's apples, women's don't, and the finger ratio, the hand ratio, kind of there's a way to tell with the hands also. This is not like exact science, but these are just ways to indicate, right? And also their shoulder and their hip, etc. But I don't go deep into that. I'm just saying I think they're doing it. It's just it's like there's no real point to be finger pointing. Oh, this person exactly I figured out is Brad Pitt is a freaking female. Like that. The point is there's no real point to go into that. It's like example figuring out which celebrity is involved. Like example, they're just group them all together. They're all together. All the politicians, etc. Right? At this point. But the point is that they're jamming. The system is promoting and jamming transgendering and to the youth and to the kids, and now they're actually implementing laws where they're getting the staff to actually teach that kids can change their gender anytime, and that there's a reason why they're doing this. It's because the LGBTQ and transgender PsyOP is due to make us society used to transhumanism. If we can swap our genders and be fluid and swap our genders at our whim, like clothing, then we can swap our body parts. And people are going to eventually get used to transhumanism, and then they're going to try to blend the sexes, blend all moralities, blend all dualities, because that's what the black and white checkerboard means. The people who control the world, these royal families that still exist and still maintain power, still walking down red carpets, still knighting one another. They're pushing their sick agenda, the great work. And I think it's about time for people to stand up and fight back. Don't be afraid to speak up, men. Show them that if they want to play ball, this is what men are all about. Then they know who's the more dominant, right? It's just like women should see now with this transgender, which I don't even agree with, this MMA transgender nonsense garbage. Having a man versus woman, obviously we know who's gonna win. So women need us, but women don't understand that femininity and being a woman has their own strength to give life to a man, their own strength to actually control a man in ways to like comfort, calm, or even instigate, or even trigger, right? Even trigger a man, or bring ruin to a man. Women have so much power. I don't understand what their issues. Why do they want to be like us? And now they're all whining online about they want to work 9 to 5. Yeah, you're right. The system duped women. They duped women. The system tricked women to get independent, to go to the workforce so that they can get taxed. Because before they were the ones who stayed at home and took care of the kid. That's what happened. It was a huge trick. But anyway, continuing on with the LGBTQ and transgendering here. And like, it was like I heard, or it's like in the States and in Canada they're teaching, and in UK they're teaching children about they're having like drag queen reading time, and I think in Ireland there was some guys came in and started but they came into the school and started like filming and saying, what are you guys teaching? You guys are grooming, right? And in Ireland now there's something happening with, oh yeah, this school teacher, he didn't want to call a student a they, them. He wanted to call him a him, and or she because he's a Christian, and then he got arrested and he thrown in jail for 2 years, or for like a year or two. Can you believe that shit? How fucked up in a world are we living in? Well, good for him. God bless him. Stand up for your rights. Don't be a freaking cuck sellout like the freaking police who were sent to go arrest him. They should be they're disgraceful, disgusting sellouts for money and for fucking position and for power, following disgusting orders that human rights, and show some moral integrity. Anyway, so back to we're just gonna review this whole episode. So again, we talked about just some advice or some tips there. My experience at the work and what I found out about the psychedelic community, the rave community, all the DJs. Oh yeah, because the DJs are working they're working for the music industry, right? So the music industry's controlled influence, and then the people who they want to be famous, right? So they're these little people are puppets. They'll do anything for fame, right? They'll do fucking literally anything. They'll like bend over and get fucked in the ass to be famous. So they're literally gonna take orders from these other musical leaders in the industry, and they're gonna teach them and groom them on how to act and how to behave, how to dress, what music to play, what frequency to play, everything, right? And they essentially what symbols to flash, etc., right? And then all the DJs, all that stuff, and what else? Oh, the nightclubs, all of them are working together with the LGBTQ and trans agenda to push homosexuality and destroy heterosexuality, and to push drug use and partying and of course promiscuity, of course over-sexualizing the population. And then I talked about the trans agenda, the LGBTQ, how the LGBTQ is connected to the pedophilia, and the pedophiles that control, and the world is ran by pedophiles, and that all entertainment, all famous celebrities, musicians, and politicians, even people in high places like school boards and anything that has like a council or something, people are like part of a kind of a group. They're all controlled and infiltrated. But the point is that they're pushing that pedophilia is linked with the LGBTQ community. LGBTQ is turning into trans. Trans is linked to transhumanism. And again, they want us to fuse man with technology so that they can defeat death and live forever and destroy lowercase God and become gods themselves. But just to finish up this episode, I'm not going to finish up the episode right yet, but I'm just going to add this, unless I didn't add it already. We're going to just quickly define what a woman and man is, since society's having such a trouble doing that. So I define a man as a human being with a penis and testicles, and someone who produces higher testosterone than a normal human being normally, or than the latter, a woman, and someone who can produce sperm, and someone who has masculine traits, someone who has higher bone and muscle density, and someone who likes to conquer the world. Now, females, let's define what a woman is. What is a woman? A woman is someone with is a human being with a uterus and female anatomy. Someone who has eggs and can produce, a woman who can produce eggs, who can carry and conceive a child, and also naturally, and someone who has naturally producing higher in estrogen, and who has female qualities, and can give off pheromones that naturally attract men. Okay, so that's what I define as a man and a woman. And you know what? I think it was Matt Walsh, who's a gatekeeper, very smart, but he's a gatekeeper. He's a very smart man, but he's a gatekeeper. He says that the gender goes so deep that when you dig someone up 1,000 years later after their death, you can find out from their bones if they were a man and woman. That's how deep gender goes. It goes so deep, it goes to your bones, bro. Okay, and we are continuing. So essentially, the video game industry is they're making everything gay. So all these little young boys are confused, and it is a confusion. I think even I had a half. There was I knew a girl that she was like bisexual, and she was with lesbians, but then eventually, guess what happened? Well, big surprise, big surprise. She married someone and had kids. So it was just like a weird phase. But that was like in the 2000s or something. That was a long time ago. But the point is that it's been growing gradually and becoming more rampant, and it's just due to a confusion. I believe that 99% of all people who are gay are straight, but they're confused, and about 1% to 5% are perhaps it's just a genetic something issue, some error in the code, but because some animals are gay too, right? But like I said, I don't hate gay people. It's just becoming a big problem in a way that's kind of being forced down everyone's throats, and you can't get away from it. It's like I don't like how they're pushing it on children, and I don't like how they're literally aggressively targeting me sometimes. And the Pride Parade is disgusting to me because it doesn't focus on the beautiful things that homosexuals have brought to society. Like, they could talk about Liberace, who was a famous pianist who performed artwork, like musical masterpieces on stage. Or how about Gucci, who was a famous for his clothing and apparel designs. He was a clothing designer. Or how about Michael Jackson, or sorry, I guess I think he was gay, bro. He was gay and he was a pedophile, but I don't know all these gay. What's his name? There's a lot of famous gay singers. I just don't. Look, how about Prince? Prince could be seen as one, right? Oh no! Oh yeah, they said he's straight, right? I don't buy that, but. Michael, what was his name? Michael something? How about Ricky Martin? There's a lot of gay members in the music industry. How much have they brought to the music industry? A lot? Or how about art in the art world? They've probably brought a lot. So they don't bring anything that homosexuals have brought positive. They just want to bring their sexualization and thinking about labeling homosexuals just by their genitalia, like just shaking their junk in front of the kids with skimpy clothing, pretty much naked, dancing for 4 months in a row now. It's gonna be probably in the streets, painting everything like rainbows. It's just disgusting, and the society's falling apart. The whole world's becoming it's gonna be like a Sodom and Gomorrah, one world kind of type world, where it's gonna be like the whole world like that for all year forever. That's gonna be fucked up, man. Count me out of that shit.